of Corona, thank God, because otherwise we would get probably canceled. We finished filming end of December, and then we did pickup scenes February, March for interviews, and the one in March I didn't even fly because I was right before everybody got shut down. So yeah.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
So many shows that we probably don't even know of are probably in the middle of filming and just stuck.
Yeah, I mean it's a problem for everybody. Like it's just like a domino effect. Everybody are suffering. I shouldn't say everybody, but Zoom is not suffering. Zoom is doing well.
Zoom is
They
Today's
should start
Zoom,
doing commercials in Zoom.
today's Zoom jumped up about 15, just today, 15%. I had an
Yeah,
option on it, so I was paying attention.
Zoom and obviously YouTube and all the streaming network, Netflix, they doing well.
Yep.
But everybody else doing shit. I'm kidding. It's not funny, but hopefully it will be over soon. Hopefully.
Yeah,
Yeah, it'll be soon before we know it. It'll be over.
I think that once it's over, we're gonna start really seeing some trickle down effects of all of the backlash. We're not there yet. First, we need to get back to action and get back to the
Yeah.
norm, and then we'll see how things play out.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen and how it's going to affect obviously the economy and real estate, at least in my business.
And you're doing both real estate in Miami and LA, right?
So I'm trying to focus more in Miami now because I'm here, but luckily I have a client, oddly enough, he's buying in Miami and actually in San Francisco. Since I'm licensed in California, I can help him do the transaction in San Fran, which is pretty cool. It's a pre-construction, so it's a little bit easier than just a resale house, because pre-construction you don't have to deal with the whole process of inspections and all that stuff. So trying to do both those deals right now in the middle of the pandemic chaos.
I know the fear and the panic is just taking over people, unfortunately. Okay, so I think we can get started. It's about 2:05. I'm going to try to respect everybody's time and see if we can keep the initial, conversation to about 30 minutes. We're going to go ahead and open it up afterwards to Q&A. So start thinking about your questions. Last week was our first episode. I want to welcome everybody to our second episode of Rubbing Elbows. This week we have the amazing Maya Vander from the hit Netflix show Selling Sunset. She's going to share with us, things that she's going through in today's market and how she got involved. We'll ask her some questions, get some feedback, and hopefully some tips. We're trying to learn from the best in the business. So every week we're going to be bringing somebody else to the mix. Last week, Chuck, if you want to maybe do like a 30-second recap on last week for anybody new that's joining, just on kind of what the takeaways were from that last session.
So we actually did a quick, I think it was like a 60-second video recap of this hour-long meeting that we did with Marty Zulai last week. So you can go on the channel and see that for yourself. It's quick and it was a great episode. Basically, the takeaway is to not panic. And obviously all this is going to pass. So we're going to get back to normal eventually. And now is the time to really prepare yourself, prepare your team, prepare your software, do what you need to do. I mean, it's a blessing in disguise to have all this time right now. So definitely, if you haven't watched the full episode, you should do it. But if you just want to watch the recap, there's a lot of interesting things that we're able to take away.
Yeah, exactly. So this week we have, as I mentioned, Maya Vander. She has blessed us with giving us some time. I know she's extremely busy. Just announced yesterday, right? Yesterday it went official that you guys are doing season two.
Yeah, we finally could say something about season 2. Netflix requested us to keep our mouth shut for the last couple of months. But yeah, season 2 is going to air exactly a month from today, like May 22nd.
So I'm sure a lot of people, Maya, are interested in, how you even got into real estate. So why don't you take like a minute or two, just kind of share your story, how you got involved and how you got into real estate.
Yeah, I mean, it's very basic story. My mom was just asking me, why don't you do real estate? Why don't you take your license or, study for it? So I'm like, you know what? That could be a good idea. No real reason. I didn't know much about real estate. And it was way before, well, I think $1 Million Listing wasn't on yet, maybe, but it was way before I even knew what real estate was about. So I took the class, and the class and the course it's pretty boring. And honestly, they don't teach you anything that's actually in real estate, but I took
Right.
it. I passed the exam. They teach you all the boring stuff, and but somehow I passed the exam, first time. And I joined Normand and Associate. Normand and Associates, a boutique brokerage high-end in Beverly Hills. And they just told me, okay, like here, your business cards and go find clients. And that's the challenge part, to find those clients. Because everybody are a buyer, right? Everybody wants a good deal. But
Right.
but then you realize a lot of people are, through the process wasting your time, and you have to kind of like go through the ups and downs. And that's why a lot of people in real estate quit after 1 year, 2 years, because it's not as easy as you think. But
So
I stuck around.
so what was that moment where you realized that this is your field, this is where you want to have a career in real estate? What was that aha moment that you got?
I think you have to be very passionate about it. Meaning going to open houses, want to do the open houses on Sunday. Just the excitement from doing a transaction, whether if it's a lease, a small condo, or a nice high-end house. If you don't like it and you're not patient enough, then forget it. But I love real estate. I drive around the streets and I look at like commercial real estate and residential, and I always like wonder, okay, what are they going to develop here? And I read the real estate news, like the real deal and all that. I'm very involved, and I think it's just a passion. So it's very easy to quit, and trust me, so many times I was saying to myself, I'm done with this, I'm done with people wasting my time. And it's like literally it's like that. But I'm always around because I just love it, and I think I'm good at it. But I like
Fantastic.
what I do. I like what I do with the ups and downs.
And so when you started obviously getting involved in real estate, how soon or how long after did the show become a thing for you?
The show, wow, yeah, I started real estate 7 years ago. So the show was in the making in the last 3 years. So I was already doing real estate for 4 years. And keep in mind, the first year you barely close anything. I closed, I think I closed my first condo in the first year, like that's it, which was a very, $350,000 or something. And it took me 1 year to close the first deal. So then second year, third year, you kind of like finally get the hang of it. And the show was in the making and on the talk about 3 years ago. They shot a demo, then they got the approval to do a pilot, and months goes by in the meantime, and then Netflix picked it up. So it's not easy as you think to just do a reality show. It took a while. Yeah.
I have a question for you regarding the show and the career, because real estate on TV, it's become such a big part of culture. There's so many TV shows about real estate now. It's just,
Right.
last time I counted, there was 74,000 TV shows
Oh,
just about
wow.
real estate. How would you describe the momentum that it's given you, or the boost that it's given your career? Obviously, it's given, some sort of a boost. Can you explain to us or describe what that's like?
So, we got a lot of we got a lot of activity from the show as far as people approaching us, getting inspired. I can't tell you I closed a deal yet directly from the show. Yes, people approaching me, but I cannot tell you I closed a deal directly from the show because we were only one season, and the last, it was like a year ago. So I'm hoping with the second and hopefully a third season, we will get, if we get third season, we'll get more of boost career-wise, because look, it's a real estate show, but it's also a lot of personal stuff. So it's a little bit different than MDL and obviously the HGTV shows. So I'm hoping, me personally, to get more business out of it. And that's the reason I was doing the show from the beginning. Clearly, you get a lot of other stuff from it, like IG and all that. But my goal is to do more real estate. And people approach me on LinkedIn and send me emails and potential investors and all that. But until I'm not going to close directly a deal from the show, someone who told me, hey, I watched your show, I want you to be my buyer agent or my listing agent. I think it's still soon to tell, for me at least.
So I have a follow-up question to that.
Sure.
For any of our viewers now or future viewers, because this gets recorded, it goes on our channel. So for any viewers that are watching this that may encounter a unique property or a unique seller that will only consider going on the market with like a big popular household name attached to the marketing, would you be open to be brought in as a co-listing? I'm sure you would, right?
Of course. You know, I always, like, my attitude is always be open-minded. I'm not greedy for commission. If I can co-list, definitely. I don't see anything wrong with co-list. Yeah, you get less money, but it's better to get something than zero. So that's my attitude about that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, you and I have been on a panel before. I think it was in Huntington Beach or somewhere over there. But you obviously have been known for your negotiating tactics.
Me?
Yeah, and being a
I
strong
didn't know.
negotiator. Well, I know that you spoke a little bit about like negotiating and how strong you are with the negotiating, and that's one of the things that kind of helps you. But the question is really, do you feel that there is a different type of approach to the business, especially with negotiating, before this whole Corona thing and now during? Have you noticed anything different in how you interact with your clients?
It's interesting because of also the market. Look, when I negotiate for my clients, I can't say I'm like aggressive and yelling at any of the sides to push for the deal. I explain in a logic way. And if someone, either if you're a seller or a buyer, it's easier to negotiate if you're willing to walk away from the deal. Now I'm dealing with a deal in Miami that it's way, if you hear my baby crying in the background, I'm so sorry. I don't know what my husband is doing. I'm like, I leave him for 20 minutes with the baby and this is what happened. Anyways, okay, I'm doing a deal in Miami right now, and we negotiated and we cut down the price pretty well. And the developer was very open-minded to cut the price and was more flexible. At the same time, I'm dealing with a deal in San Francisco, and we obviously offer way less. And I told my client it's Corona time, like they're probably going to be flexible. And actually, they know, they counter us back at full price. So in that case, if my client really wants the deal, I mean, there is so much I can do. If the developer is stuck on the price, or the seller in that case, I mean, the seller developer, I can negotiate all day long if I want to, but it depends on the motivation of the seller and obviously the motivation of the buyer. Different markets, I would think that now, because of the coronavirus, people will be more flexible, the sellers will be more flexible, because look, I think it's a great opportunity to buy, but that being said, a lot of people lost their job and lost their income, so the pool of the buyers are possibly going to slow down. So it depends again on the sides, whether if your buyer is motivated or your seller is motivated.
Are you doing right now live transactions during? Have you picked up any new transactions? Not ones from before, but any new ones during?
Like three that I'm dealing right now, they all want to buy because of the situation. Look, they got the money. Some lost the money in the stock. They feel more comfortable investing in real estate. It's an asset, you can see it, versus the stock. So, and they know they can probably get a good deal generally, unless the seller is very, very strict. So those people, three of them, I'm dealing with them right now because they know they can take advantage of the market. And by the way, I wasn't solicited. I don't solicit it for business right now. I don't send any emails and all that stuff, because I try to be very careful and gentle with approaching people at this time, because it's still a sensitive time. But it's client that know me, but they approach me for the business.
And do you have currently a message that you give to any potential sellers that ask you, you know what, Maya, should I even consider selling right now? What would your message be to them?
You know, it's hard to, yeah, a lot of sellers are pulling back their listing right now because they hope, okay, in 2-3 months, it's going to be better for them to bring the listing back on the market. But you just don't know what the market will be like anyway in 3 months. It's actually maybe going to even get worse. And because of the fact that a lot of sellers are pulling their listing, maybe it's actually good to put your listing on the market and just get more attention, because people are looking online. They have more time to spend, and they're going to go on Zillow or Trulia or Realtor.com, and they're going to look at listings because they just have more time in their hand. So I think like definitely list, because you just don't know what will be 3 months from now, and where we're going to be. So I would just tell them to just list.
And then any tips on how to list? So let's say you listed the property, but it's very difficult in getting people to go and look at the properties, especially if the sellers are
Right.
living in the home. Anything that your office or that you
The
guys
only,
talk
yeah,
about?
the only thing you can do is virtual tour. If the property is vacant, it might be slightly better, because you can obviously gear up, keep distance, and just maybe show one client, but obviously be very safe about it. But virtual tours or just videos for now, I think that would be the best way to do it. And it depends on the house, right? Like for my pre-construction client, it doesn't need to obviously see it because it's still being built, so it's easier. But if it's a house with furniture and you have to really imagine, it's a little bit challenging. But virtual tours are probably the solution right now.
So obviously in real estate, for some reason, and we can see it here also, there's a lot of moms in real estate, and you have a beautiful growing family. How do you manage everything? The real estate, the transactions, the TV
I
show,
don't.
family. Give us some tips.
No, you know what? Look, real estate is flexible, but have to be also available for showing and stuff. So when I was doing the show in LA, I obviously can't be with my baby all the time because I'm filming. So I did hire a part-time nanny, but I was for a couple of hours for the filming. Here in Miami, right before my son just turned 1, and right before the virus started, I literally just put him in part-time daycare just in the morning for a few hours, because I wanted to go look at properties, doing showing, and try to maximize my time between 9 a.m. till 2. But 3 weeks, I felt some freedom in the morning. And then the virus, obviously we closed down, and now we are home with my husband and my baby. So I think the goal is I'm going to have another baby next month. So it's going to be tough to do it all with a newborn. My in-laws will come, they will help me. But yes, it's hard to do it all. Unless I'm hiring full-time nanny, which I'm not going to. You have to somehow manage the time. I'm trying to do everything I can right now with my baby at home, and obviously emails and contracts and phone calls, and my husband is here to help. But yeah, it's a challenge. I mean, look, and I don't want to have a nanny full time either, because I want to enjoy my son and my newborn that's coming up. But I think once my newborn, maybe part time, I'll get part time someone for a couple of hours, just so I can have a little flexibility for showings and time management. It will be good. It's not easy.
Yeah. So for anybody that maybe hasn't seen, season 1 of Selling Sunset, can you tell us a little bit of, what the show's about, and then maybe some sneak peeks on season 2?
Yeah, so Selling Sunset, the creator of Selling Sunset was doing back in the days The Hills. I don't know if you guys are familiar with The Hills on MTV. It was a huge show, successful. So it's the same creator, Adam. So Selling Sunset is a mix of The Hills, a little bit of $1 Million Listing. So yes, you have real estate, but you also have a lot of personal stuff. So season 1 was kind of like getting to know all of us, and obviously doing some real estate transactions, but getting to know all the characters. We are 6 girls, and the twin brothers, Jason and Brett, they own the brokerage. They're very, very successful. And so that was season 1. We had 8 episodes, a little bit of crazy drama at the end, but I think that drama got us to season 2. Unfortunately, that's what sells and that's what people like to watch. Season 2, I love the episodes. I think it's also like a good mix with real estate, but you also get to know us again and get familiar with us again. So it's the perfect mix between the Hills and $1 Million Listing. And same for season 2. So a little bit more juiciness in season 2.
Okay. When is it coming out?
I can't say more, unfortunately. I might get sued. May 22nd.
May 22nd. Okay. I look forward to it personally. Chuck, I'll let you jump in. You have any questions before we open it up to everyone?
I'm gonna actually see if anybody else had questions either here from Zoom or on YouTube. This is
okay. So I see Jessica waving her hand. I'm keeping everybody muted just so that there's no background noise, but I'll go ahead and unmute. If you have a question, either do the little reaction thumbs up and I'll unmute you. But Jessica, go ahead.
Hi, Maya. How are you?
Hi.
Hi. So I had a question. So I'm also a mom of 4. And,
Wow.
yeah. And but I've been in the business. I do mortgages. I've been in the business for years. How did you manage in such a short period of time to get such a big clientele, or so get a nice pipeline in such a short period of time? Because like you said, in the first year you closed 1 condo.
Yeah.
How did that happen for you?
Yeah. So and it's still, with real estate, you always prospecting, right? So for me, like I did a little bit of everything. In the beginning, I did a lot of open houses. Like literally every Sunday I was doing an open house. And I used to go out and network a lot. And everybody that just start talking to me, I hand them my business card. Then obviously Facebook was starting to be big at the time. It was 7 years ago. So I guess Facebook was around. So a bit of advertisement on Facebook, trying to build a decent website. So I did everything, and I also invest, me personally, in Zillow and Trulia, and that got me good results. Because oddly enough, like most of my transactions are not necessarily from like sphere of influence and my friends. Actually, they are from people that never met me. So yeah, weird. My friends don't trust me. No, but they probably don't want to show me how much they have in their bank account. No, but Zillow.
That's usually the problem.
Yeah, I first I took it personal, but now I'm like, forget it. But for me, online marketing worked the best. And by the way, I used to go door knock 3 times a week for 4 years. Like I probably door knock every neighborhood in LA. Maybe not the valleys. Yeah, I door knock and bring material, but it didn't get me a good result. Maybe it was my script, but so for me online, I would say Zillow actually worked the best for me. Yeah.
Do you mind diving in a little bit deeper, maybe giving some tips on that specifically, the online with Zillow?
Yeah, because a lot of people say, and by the way, for mortgage, I know they collaborate with mortgage brokers too. You have agent, and then you can have your preference broker. With Zillow, for me, look, you get a lot of leads, and a lot of them are not. I wouldn't say they're not good leads, but they contact other agents or they already have an agent. The key is to follow up. Don't bug them too much. Don't be desperate, but follow up a couple of times, because it takes time for a buyer. The deal I'm doing right now, for instance, that's a buyer actually from Zillow that approached me a year ago. So you're talking about 1 year. But I think the key is to be consistent, stay engaged as much as you can with those leads. Don't forget them, and try to narrow down. Some of them will waste your time, and I had a bunch of those that wasted my time. But then, if you have like 10 wasting your time, you have maybe 1 who is not wasting your time, and that's already worth it. So I think the consistency is the key. But prior to Zillow, I used to go to a lot of networking events, and I got, I don't want to, well, I don't want to say the name, but maybe it was published back then. But anyway, some famous guy I met in a restaurant, and I gave him a business card, and I sold him a house. But it's not as easy. It's not happen every time. And now when I have kids, I can't just go out in a restaurant and sit in a bar. It's just not gonna probably happen. So my approach now will be obviously online, still Zillow and online marketing, and probably more like the mom groups. I'm going to try to tap into that niche and network, you know, once my son goes to daycare with the parents and all that, and just maybe mom groups. So that would be another good way to meet people in organic way, versus more attacking someone for business.
So we have somebody on YouTube. I'm seeing that we have a question from Mike Angel. First, he says, Maya Vander, love you on the show.
Thank
And
you.
then he asks, what are some of the mistakes you wish you could have avoided?
All the people wasted my time. No, you know, when I started real estate, I'm very naive. Like, I trust everybody. Everybody gonna buy, everybody gonna sell. But I think I could have narrowed down my time, and especially when I was single with men. Not saying I was gonna go on a date with them, but you know, happy hours, lunch. Like, hopefully they will give me some business, and a lot of them just wasted my time. So I wish I could avoid that. And maybe also sit in open houses that I know the area very well and feel more comfortable sitting in an open house that I'm familiar with, versus just be all over the place. So I wish I could have done that, just be more focused on specific area.
Okay. Does anybody else see Stacy, you're raising your hand? Hang on, let me unmute. Hey, Stacy.
Hi, Maya. Hi, Maya.
Hi, Stacy.
What do you feel is the difference between selling real estate in Miami and LA?
Good question. So Miami has a lot of condos. Price point is usually lower than LA, but you're also talking about a lot of people who buy in second home. So therefore they're less emotional, and they just want the cool unit in a nice building, and they don't drive you around and drive you crazy, because in LA they want to buy in Brentwood, but they only can afford Woodland Hills.
Mm-hmm.
So you drive around for 1 year, you show them 50 properties, and then they decide to rent.
Or
so I
right.
feel like in LA, yeah, people, and you know, also in Miami, I guess Zillow works for me better in Miami, because people don't have that local agent who you know, the cousin is an agent and all that, because they're from overseas or from New York or Canada. So it's LA, you know, like you have to be in a certain market, and everybody have an agent, and the cousin and the brother and the neighborhood specialist. And again, you drive around, and people don't know what they want, because, you know, they have like a nice, I call it always champagne taste with a beer budget. So I think that's the difference. I think I wasted more time showing properties around LA than Miami.
Nice. Well,
but Miami, that being said, I also, but you know what? But look, every condo in LA, sorry to say, but the shittiest one is $500,000. So in Miami, I showed condo for 250,000. So you know, you take the pros and the cons, because LA is a stable market, and it's good to do business in LA, but it's just hard, I think.
I think Stacy is asking because somewhere deep down she wants to do business in Miami also.
Oh, really?
Miami.
You know, people underestimate Miami. Yeah, you can go to live and party if you want until 3 a.m. But I think Miami has a lot of cool places, and you can also be, you know, like have a normal life in Miami. You don't have to go crazy. And it reminds me of Israel too. It's hot, it's humid, and I like it.
Yeah.
I think everybody on the Zoom has been to Israel, actually, looking at here. I've been to Israel with a few of you guys.
Except for Michelle, it looks like. Do we have anyone else on Zoom or on YouTube that'd like to ask a question? Rosaline, are you? There you go. Hey, Rosaline.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Rosaline.
Hi. So I'm also a mom of 4 boys.
Good for you guys. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have 2, then maybe 3, but no, I have to have a 1-year break because I'm back to back with pregnancies.
Well, you might have twins, so you'll end up with
Oh,
4.
yeah, maybe.
You don't know what you have?
I'm having a girl, so I have a boy at home, and
Good
I'm
for
having
you.
a girl due next month, and then I'm gonna take 1-year break, and then we'll see.
Send me a recipe for a girl, because I have 4 boys.
Yeah.
Anyway, um, I work with new construction clients and with first-time buyers, and now I'm getting a lot of attention from homeowners that would like to sell their home. Like I did the
Perfect.
meeting like 3 years ago, and I'm still following up with her. And now I did a follow-up because we don't have nothing else to do. And I told her that we can do coming soon campaign.
Yeah.
But my question to you, what do you recommend? Like, I believe in the coming soon, to put it in coming soon rather than put it on the MLS and to, just reduce the price, because I feel that buyers right now taking advantage of the COVID-19.
Definitely, buyers will take advantage and they will try to lowball. I tried coming soon on Zillow with a property like 2 years ago with a condo. It was right before New Year, so we were like, so we wanted to do the same. We didn't want to lose the days on the market. I didn't generate any business from coming soon. That being said, maybe now because people are more online, you might get a buyer actually, and you might be able to pick one and double end both sides. You can try that. I don't think it's going to hurt. And maybe 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, you can reevaluate where the market is. I mean, yes, you can list it because people are looking online and still engaging with real estate. It's a good time, but yes, the risk is you might lose days on the market at the same time because obviously we cannot do open houses and personal show and only virtual tour. And it depends what's the condition of the house. But you can try coming soon for 2-3 weeks, see if you get any activity on it. Maybe do some email blast. I've been
Yes.
getting a lot of email blasts off market, not on the MLS yet, because for some reason there is something psychology with people. Oh, it's not on the MLS. It's off market. Nobody knows about it. So you can try off market email. And then if you get nothing, then already, 3 weeks, 4 weeks goes by, then maybe we're in a better place a month from now. I heard California is going to be in a shutdown until the 15th. So maybe, hopefully we can resume business right after. So yeah, you could do the Zillow coming soon, and then email blast. I would try maybe first.
No, I will do that.
And
By
then you
the
can,
way,
and then it shows your seller that you're trying to market it off market. And hey, if you're not getting anything, then you didn't lose much. You didn't lose the momentum.
by the way, Zillow coming soon works very well. Last year
Really?
I sold 2 new construction off market, like through coming soon in Zillow.
Because I was trying it I was trying it 2 years ago, and I think they just started the coming soon. Maybe it was 3 years ago, and I got nothing. But maybe now people are more looking at it because, yeah, they want the off market property.
By the way, the MLS in LA, they are now, because of COVID, not counting days on market. So you have to actually call them or email them for your personal listing, but it'll still say the date that it was listed. So any agent that goes on can see that it was listed March 30th or whatever date it was listed, but the actual buyers only see DOM as 1. So
Oh, that's good.
I have a couple listings that I put on while this is happening. And if you search them, it only looks like it's on the market for 1 day.
So
That's good
Stacy says,
information.
yeah. And let me ask a question to Stacy since we're all talking. So you put your listings right now. Do you see any activity? Do agents contact you?
Yes. So I work with a lot of builders. My business is a lot of also like sphere of influence and friends. So I have 3 properties on the market. And for probably the first like 3 weeks, I got a lot of calls of people that wanted me to send virtual tours and photos, which I was obviously happy to do. And just this week alone is my first week that I'm actually getting calls to have private showings. And I had a private showing yesterday, and I have a second follow-up showing tonight. So, I mean, you never know. And my properties that are vacant, that are under construction, I'm lucky that my builders are understanding the market and have been in the market for a long time. So they're willing to kind of take a little bit of a lower price. So I'm advertising things that if you buy it now before it's finished, it's going to be $1,375,000. When we go on the market, when this is over, we're going on the market probably at $1,475,000. And that's, my builders are willing to take a little less if somebody were to go in right now.
Right.
So that's kind of just like a little key point. We also have a program here called TAN, Top Agent Network. So they've changed the filter for TAN, that you're not allowed to market off-market listings, because I guess that's changing May 1st, but you can put your, it's called a secret listing or a silent listing. You can put what your property is, and then agents that have buyers can see if they have somebody that matches that, and then they'll send you an email.
Yeah.
Cool,
TAN.
thank you.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
TAN is a big thing here. What else? We should probably
You're a
wrap it up
little
soon,
you're a
unless
little
you have any
laggy.
other questions, just because we're really trying to keep it. I am?
Yeah, unfortunately. But does anybody else have any final questions? We're getting on the 40-minute mark here, so I do want to respect everybody's time, especially Maya, who's graced us with.
Well, they have
with
they have 4 kids. They sound way more busy than I am.
When you have 4 kids, you want to escape to these kind of Zoom meetings.
Right?
So if nobody else has any other questions, I want to thank Maya for taking the time today to sharing with us a little bit about your world and what you're doing. It was great to see you again and hear from you again. And I want to thank everybody for joining. We're going to be putting this recording on YouTube after the session is over. Next week, we're going to do it at the same place, same time, have a new surprise guest. And thank you, everybody, for joining. Again, Maya, thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Stay safe.
Stay
All right,
safe,
thanks.
Maya.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.